myself again. But it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the thoughts I cannot say to you. If I don't say the words, then maybe it's not true. And it feels alright when they come and say.
Good evening, welcome to NUFC Matters with me, Steve Wraith. Fans Forum tonight, packed, full of Newcastle United fans and lots of different opinions, I am sure, on the weekend's game that has just passed. A 2-0 defeat in the league. 10-man Newcastle finally succumbed to another team on the pitch in the Premier League, and it had to be Liverpool, didn't it? The same team that had beaten us way back in August in that controversial fashion. If you've got a point to make, then drop it into the chat. And we are 10 away from hitting the 50k. We might do it tonight. Who knows? So if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button tonight. And as Julie says, help us get to 50k. But honestly, been a pleasure doing this show. We'll continue to do it for as long as we can. And as always, Alan, over to you first, mate. And you were very, very, very active in the chat last night, mate. You still haven't recovered from this defeat, mate. And even your face tells the story. Go on, Alan.
I think that's unfortunately for me. For the last 24 hours, I had a poor race on Saturday. The match didn't help. It was a shambles, in my opinion. And then a beloved dog died. So 24 hours.
Sorry, mate. That's horrible.
Anyway, that just was icing on the cake. Getting back to the match, lads. The two goals, at first I thought the first goal was a handball, but when you see it on TV, it wasn't. Trippier had his worst game, in my opinion, for Newcastle. And I cannot get my mind around what Pope was thinking, lads. I cannot get my mind around. Why not just take the third goal? Blows my mind what he was thinking of and what he did. It's a clear red card. And the people around me at first were stunned when I said, well, that's him out the final. And I was just sitting there in the second half and I'm thinking this is a training exercise for Liverpool. And I know a lot of lads were saying he played well, and ESM, Barry, I know you said he played well. And yes, he did. But how many goals did he score? How many real chances did he create? He's done a great move in the second half, but it got nowhere. I just thought Liverpool, I said to my brother-in-law after 10 minutes, where it's half time, that Liverpool will bring the substitutes on after 10 minutes because they were already thinking of Real Madrid. And were the players really thinking about not getting injured in the second half? Newcastle players? Liverpool were already thinking about Real Madrid. And I just sat there like a cabbage because I thought myself, this is going nowhere. But the positives, lads, trying to put a great spin on it, we've got Bruno back. Positives for the cup final, we've got Bruno back. Expectations for the final, I want we to win. Simple as that. I know lads in the chat last night that people have been thinking we're underdogs and all expectations on Man United. But if you look at it that way, you're hoping. That means you're in fear of Man United. If you go to a final hoping you're going to win, you actually fear the opposition, in my opinion. This is not a great Man United team. It's an efficient Man United team under a really good manager at the minute. But it isn't a great Man United team. How many trophies have they won in the last 5-6 years? None. So this isn't a great Man United team, in my opinion. We've got the best chance to win the trophy in my lifetime on Sunday. And it's up to them to have the expectations. The greatest worry, like I said on the chat, Steve, is the freeze again. I've seen 4 finals and 3 of them, they froze. Absolutely froze. Man City, they played okay. They had a flu epidemic that week and a lot of players were down. But we had a good fight 2-1. But my expectations, I'm not going to make a prediction, lads, but they should win. End of. I do not have any fear about Man United. Leicester tore them to bits for 45 minutes. comes to another point, Wilson and Isaac and Miggy will score them chances. Leicester should have been 3-0 up at half time and they didn't take them, and that's me another greatest fear. We are not taking our chances, lads. We're not. And they're the two items, and Pope just simply, sorry lads, can't get over it. I need some Valium to take after him getting sent off. With that, I really am. We've got Karius that's never played a game for about 500 years. So is he going to make the grade? We can only hope that he plays well on Sunday. So I'll leave it with that, lads, and let the Barry and the lads try and cheer us up, because
well, Barry, I'll leave
nothing to cheer about, really.
On to you, Barry. My internet seems to be going in and out, lads. So don't panic if I do disappear. Just continue. I will be back. But at the minute, it seems to be fine. I seem to be back. But if it dips in and out, I might have to reset. So carry on talking amongst yourselves. But Barry, Alan's clearly not happy. He's about as depressed as I was after we got knocked out of the FA Cup. What's your views?
I think especially the last 2 or 3 games, it was coming. The last 2, the Bournemouth game, the West Ham game, we got through, not through ability. We were having off games, and we still managed. We've said it so many times. It still turned out results. We still turned them over. I mean, yes, I was surprised by the 2 early goals. I thought the defense looked all over the place, which I think, again, is just another continuation of how they've been playing. Trippier's been off form. Botman looks shaky for the first time all season. He's starting to look as though he's wobbling. I did think Byrne had a better game. I did admit in the chat that I thought ASM was spot on. I think he didn't, like you see, Alan, he didn't score, but he did. The effort was there. The potential was there with him. He was running at them, and they genuinely looked nervous when he was going forward. I think, for me, Karius, I don't have any issue with him. I think the kid's a good keeper. I think he's going to come in. He's going to do it. I was reading this story this afternoon about I don't know whether it was tongue in cheek or what, but they were saying, why don't we send Pope out on loan to Blythe Spartans, who were playing tonight, as an emergency loan? Then he missed the Blythe Spartans game, and then he could be playing in the cup final on Sunday. And I'm thinking, is this a genuine story that we're going to send them out? But I'm not as concerned about Karius. My concern is the defense isn't as solid as it has been, and I think Man U have got the players who can do us damage. But for me, my big thing is the star in midfield's back. If anybody's going to make us tick, it's Bruno. I think Bruno plays so well with Almiron. He plays well with Joe Linton. He creates that magical link between the defense and attack, which we played really well the early parts of the season. I think a little bit concerned how much match practice he's had. I was interested to see he wasn't playing in the reserves game. The Target was in. I thought, can he not play in those type of games if he's banned from the Premier League? But I thought he might have been getting some match fitness out of that, but obviously he wasn't there. But I honestly, I still think we'll give it a good go. I think it. I know what you said. 3 cup finals or 3 Wembley appearances, and we got hammered each time. Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United. It's not something you particularly look forward to. But I said it on the chat last night. If we get beat, so we're overachieving where we were expected to be anyway. We're in a cup final. Get in. We're going to Wembley. I'm stuck at bloody work, so I'll not be able to watch it live anyway. So I'll be sitting there praying behind the desk, hoping like mad that they're going to win. But we're still top 6. I think is achievable. Whether we'll, I think the squad's too small. I think we should have bought a couple of replacements to remain in the top 4. I think we're missing out on 2 or 3 players, but I think a top 6 finish is still achievable. So go for it. I'm just hoping, obviously, we do better down at Wembley for you guys or whoever's going down to watch it, because I would hate to see them get turned over again.
Okay, Kevin, what did it look like on the other side of the Atlantic?
Well, after my week, I was looking forward to the game, but then it just turned into what was led for the 22 minutes into the game. You know, excited. I was nervous. I had a lot of things on my plate, as most of you know.
So I want to appreciate people who commented on that, and thankfully she came home Saturday, so she's back home and doing well, but you know, a little bit of road to recovery, so that's positive news. So yeah, so I was a bit of an emotional wreck, to be honest, so I didn't know what to expect, but anyway, you know, we started well. We got down there left side. I thought Maxi against Alexander Arnold was going to be an interesting one, because I thought it would be the same as Kai Walker, and he'd done that. But again, the final product, like people have said already, was not there, but it was there. He just had to find his way into the game. But mainly what my big takeaway was, and I think Alan said it already, was about Kieran Trippier. And I've seen some comments over the past couple of days to say that it was Fabian Shaw that was at fault for the goals, or one of them at least. And I thought to myself, no, it wasn't. It was Kieran Trippier. If you look at the first one, Kieran Trippier is too far out. He's not narrow enough. Expecting the ball out to Andy Robertson. Well, no, your main problem is you've got to tuck inside for Darwin Núñez, as we know can score for fun. So he was the bigger threat, but he got drawn in. And for the second one, he was too deep. If he stepped up half a yard, Gakpo's offside. So it's like the fine margins against a team like Liverpool, regardless where they are in the league. For me, that's what separated the two sides. Plus, obviously, Popey sending off, which I think is just a natural instinct, what he would do as a goalkeeper. You know, so it's one of them. Look, yeah, I was disappointed. I was like Mitch and a lot of us. Alan's still agitated and pissed off and whatever. But it took a minute to come down from obviously personal things, and then watching that, and it's like it just couldn't get any worse, really. But at the same time, you know, it's only a game of football at the end of the day, and it's the second defeat. You know, it is what it is. As much, and plus, you know, what happened to Christian Atsu, and you know, thoughts and prayers to his family, what's happened. So it was a big emotional day all the way around, club-wide, person. You know, so I think that got onto the players as well. So I think, you know, when we're going into the final this weekend, I'm working as well, by the way, so I've got to rush off from a game. 10 minutes left, 10 minutes into the final, so I've got to get on my phone and try and watch it. So going into that again, how can you deal with the pressure of playing in a final? Because we had to deal with that big pressure, the emotion of everything on Sunday. How we're going to deal with that Sunday, and that's a bigger concern. Versus, are we going to play well and things like that? We know what we can do, but again, it's the psychological elements within the game, and I think that's the bigger pressure than anything else. But yeah, it is what it is. It is a game of football. We got beat off the same side twice, and that's only 2 defeats we have, so not really disgruntled, but you know, you wish you want to win everything, you know what I mean? But we can't. It's not, football doesn't work like that. We all know that. It's just the expectation. I think the expectation level, I think now we're going to win every game, which is not a bad thing to have, but when you do lose, it's I've said this before, the quote from a college coach over here, and I've took it to my coaching world in my life, is humility is one game away. You know, so you got to keep pushing, you got to keep going. So we'll see what happens Sunday, and let's go and smash them monks all over the place.
Paul says, get off Pope's back. I don't think anybody was really on Pope's back. He says, if it wasn't for Pope, we wouldn't be in the final. The lad's only human, for heaven's sake. Shez says, I'm not too worried about the defence or our goal struggle. We somehow found ourselves way ahead of schedule. So I'm going to keep in mind that we're punching above our weight and enjoying the final no matter what. Win the midfield and we'll win the cup as long as Rashford is starved of the ball. Little FB says, first goal, Alexander Arnold was given acres of space to play the through ball through for the goal. It's going to be fantastic. Win or lose, the atmosphere is going to be crazy, says Ian. And Ken Robinson says, in my mind, since just after the quarterfinal and the draw for the semi, everybody's minds and heads have been on the cup, and that is what has affected our league form and could spoil our season. And Ian follows up with, the entire city's going to be jumping. I can't wait. So Darren, you had your black and white scarf on at the start of the show. What's your take, mate? I presume you're still very upbeat and looking forward to the trip to Wembley.
Yeah, totally right, Steve. Like, Hanawa got beat, but defensively we looked a bit shambled. But if you look at the players' reaction at the end of the game, they were devastated when got beat. And when was the last time you seen Newcastle players devastated when they got beat after a game? You know what I mean? Like, you say the emotional, like the one happy they got beat. If Amron scores the first chance in the first 5 minutes, it could have been a different game. Nick Pope, you can tell he's a goalkeeper. That's why if I was in goal, I'd be using my feet. I wouldn't be going that low to kick a ball down. You know what I mean? But it's ESM and the ESM man and Matt. I think you rang them ragged. We've got beaten for tried. I wasn't too to the point of the gear, and I got beat. I didn't watch match today on Saturday for the third time in the year, so that was something different. So that was something different. Not to watch match today on the Saturday night. But lads, like Bruno's back for the weekend. Yeah, roll ourselves down. Yes, gone fresh. Can give Man U a game. Yes, I want to win. You know I want to win. If we don't, but as long as we can performance down Wembley, Father Joey's everybody's watch it. Can give a game. We're solid. We've got nothing to be afraid of a Man U. The 50-50 game. How could happen in the day? Just can do your best doing there. That's my honest opinion.
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of people agree with you, mate. There's no doubt about that. Okay, Lord Vader, the dark side showed itself at the weekend. What was your view?
Just Liverpool. It's always Liverpool. It just, what is it? I don't know. Just always something goes on. It's always Liverpool. But like says, it's like says it's only a second defeat. We've only lost to one team this season, and that's Liverpool. We're just jinx when it comes to them. But yeah, I was kind of like says the goals, the defence, and that was a bit unhappy with that. Like says not clicked together and that. In Pope, like says I think Alisson's kick was that good. And it caught him out, and he just didn't know he just lost in his head, and he just thought, right, he tried and get there. And then the lad, like, says, hit him in the nose, like, hit him in the chest, went down. And, like, I think Kev's right, he just goalkeeper reaction. The ball was there, and he just grabbed it. And then that was it. So, like, says, it's just one of them things in the moment. It's, like, says, happens and that. And I think
it happened 3 minutes before that happening now on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. He got in there and said that. He did that, but I think, yeah. But he was up because like we had a corner on that, and like we're playing the high line. He plays like a sweeper role there. But then I think that the kick by Alisson just absolutely was brilliant. Kick out straight to Salah, and he was in. But yeah, like so it's unfortunate. Don't play Pope at all. Don't ever go to him. Like he's class. He's an absolute outstanding. Mistakes happen. Like Pope's just absolutely. He's been outstanding. The team have, like everyone said, we're punching well above our weight. We've done brilliant. All we wanted was maybe finish in the top 10 and have a good cup run. We'll have a good cup run. We've got to the final. You can't get better than that, can you? Like, no. Look now, like, I mean, I was listening. I shouldn't listen to TalkSport. It just makes us angry. But I was listening on the way home, and they're just straight away writing us off for top 4 and that now, straight away, everything and all that. But after this cup game, we don't have anything else. That is all we have, folks, on the league. I think we'll still kick in because that'll be out of the way, get it done, win the thing, kick Man U up the up, and we'll do it and that. But yeah, it's like this. It's just what I loved was the attitude of the players. Down to 10 men, but they were like, nah, they were going for it every time. And I love Joe Linton's attitude, like this. You want to stay on that pitch. You want to fight. You want to see that from your players. Like he was just like, I'm fine. I'm all right, man. But I could tell Eddie Howe's going like, yeah, I can't lose you for the final as well. I'm going to look after you and taking him off. So yeah, it's fine. But no, for me, I was a bit disappointed. 2-0 down. My mate was keeping going, oh, it's over. And I was just going, but just what? But it's the reaction of the players, and that's what we're seeing now. That's what's different. Under Bruce, that would have been 7-8-0. Like this team, the passion in that. Next is if you turn that on at half time, you wouldn't think we were the man with like 10 men doing. You know what I mean? The way we went at them, and that you wouldn't think that at all. And it's the spirit, that fight that's in the team. That's what I love, and I think we'll take that in to the Man United game. And Karius, I've got no fear with him. He's gonna come in. Keep eyes, keep what we've got, and I think he'll do a good job. But just defense, I think like Man U, like everyone says, this Man U, what are they won? Nothing. People are going about, oh, they've drawn with Barcelona. It's perspectives. Barcelona isn't the team that they used to be. They got knocked out the Champions League. They're playing. It's all perspectives, and when we lost like this year, like we lost in the 90s and all that, but we played a treble winning side and a double winning side at the time. Like this, that ain't this, you know what I mean? It's just, I think it's just trying to clear the dust out of your head. Like it says, it's a 50-50 match, but I think we can do it. Get Bruno back in. If Maxi plays like that, like he did against Liverpool, we'll tear them apart. And like Joe Linton, everyone up for it. I think we'll do it. Yeah, I just cannot wait. Like I say, with Darren, I was just like, after I was just like, yeah, it's over, we're lost. But I'm kind of glad we got that loss out the way. So like, I'm kind of like, it's out the way, it's done. Like it says, we keep on holding on, going, all right, we're gonna lose it. It's gone. Like it says, just get out of the way, get in the cup. Like it says, we've got to hold it.
Yeah, you just sort of seen you said cup run top 10. You would have had it all day long. You know what I mean? We're putting up our weight for a little. Yes, it'll take another 2 windows, possibly 3 windows, to get our team right. Folks, like we need to get sponsorships in. Right? It's not going to happen overnight. We all know that. Like the players,
we're still. This is the process. Yeah, this is the process, and we're still in that process.
Look at Chelsea, Look at Chelsea, what they've spent.
Yeah, exactly.
Graham Potter, how bad he's doing.
Yeah.
You can like this. I mean, like this. 600 million. They've got to be able to play together. That doesn't matter. Do you think the managers picked any of them players? I don't think so. Like this, that's got to be something happen. And like this, yeah, like this. No, I've got like this. Come on, I think I won't do them. Manx like this. More of that now. Come on, Alan. We can do this.
Your cheering us up, your cheering us up, lads.
George, last but by no means least, good evening, mate.
Hello, Steve.
Just your views on your game at the weekend. How are you feeling now? It's a couple of days.
Well, having had a chance to look at it more than once now with one eye, as much as I can see of the game, I go back to what I said yesterday. Klopp gambled that we would have a go at them straight away, and we did, and we fell right into his trap, and he let these 2 greyhounds go free, and they scored 2 great goals. You'd have to be a really silly to think that they weren't 2 great goals, because they were. And as for Nick Pope, well, if Nick Pope hadn't done what he'd done, it would have been 3-0, because it was a certain goal. And I think he went ahead the ball, to be honest, but it hit him in the face rather than the head. And that's why he ended up getting it in his hands. So the lad, you know, the guy, he was devastated all night after the game and so upset, but don't know why, because he's performed heroics this year to get where we are. And I mean, Darth Vader said it right. Anybody switching on at half time would not believe that Newcastle United had 10 men. And even some of the hard-nosed Liverpool supporters like Carragher and 1 or 2 others were saying, well, Newcastle deserve a goal. Newcastle deserved something out of that game. And we did. We had enough chances to get a draw out of that game at least. And if Wilson, I repeat what I said yesterday, if Wilson had been as sharp as he was before the break, he would have had 2 goals on Sunday. It wouldn't have been near misses or hitting the goalkeeper's legs. He would have scored goals. And a bit of luck for Maxi, who did. You're absolutely right. Played out of his skin in that game and is entitled to his place at Wembley for me now. And Dan Burns had it hit the bar. How many times would that happen? You know. So there's so many positives, and I'm like Vince. I can't wait for the weekend so that I can see the team having a real go at the cup and having a real go at Manchester United. I've probably like you, Steve. I have memories of the last time we played them at Wembley, and aren't very happy memories, but. It doesn't matter that's then and we're here now, and I still think there's enough in West Scene to give them a fright and have a go and at them, and I still think that the very least will get the penalties, very least.
George, I just want to ask you a question on last night's show. You know, obviously you're more senior than any one of us.
True.
What were the expectations, George?
Legend, George.
What were the
Sorry.
expectations in the 50s, George? Did you go in 51, 52 expecting to win? Or was it just cool?
No. My father hitchhiked all the way to Wembley to 3 cup finals. And what once did he go, even though it won before, not once did he go thinking that the cup was ours. In fact, the London press prayed we're down. According to the London press, we didn't have a chance, especially in 55 when we played Manchester City. Manchester City were the up-and-coming team and had all the up-and-coming players. So, no, every game I remember my father saying what a thrill it was, because nobody in London, none of the London press give a chance in any of those games. And it was just that some of our players played out of their skins on the day, like in the first one, Jackie Milburn did, and Rob Lido did in the Arsenal game. He just run Arsenal ragged. The Manchester City game was slightly different in as much that the fullback Meadows tried to foul Bobby Mitchell and ended up hurting himself and had to go off. Well, of course, no substitutes, and after that, it was Newcastle's game. But no expectations. In fact, the reverse was true. They went feeling they were underdogs and overcame all of that. So no, there wasn't expectations would win.
Okay.
Sorry if that was a long answer, but
no, that's fine, George.
Right.
Halfway through the show, I just want to play a little advert we knocked up in support of the 14 minutes applause, which people are asking for Wembley. Have a watch of this.
Hi everyone, my name's Lee Clark. Just want to make this video to get a very important message out there about the increase in and unfortunately in knife crime. Awful position to be in. If you've ever been a victim of knife crime, or a family who's been a victim, because it doesn't just affect the person who has been involved in getting stabbed by a knife. It's the family members, the mums, the dads, the brothers, the sisters, the aunties, the uncles, the cousins, the friends. But it's also the person who commits that, their family suffer as well. And there's no place for it. If you're carrying a knife, you're carrying it for one reason, and that's to go and hurt someone deliberately. So I'm asking everybody out there, not to have those thoughts. There's other ways and means of, if you have a debate with somebody, a difference of an opinion, etc., to deal with that. And I'm talking to everybody here now, boys and girls, just to think about that when you're outside. If any of your friends or your family members are out carrying knives, just to give them that advice, to say, one, that they're going to go out and do something that they'll regret for the rest of their life, but it'll hurt their family and friends, but also the victim and their family and friends. So a strong message from me: there's no room for knife crime in our world today. So please, can we use this to put an end to it? All the very best, Lee.
It's time to stamp out knife crime.
Liam O'Brien here. It's time to stamp out knife crime.
It's time to stamp out knife crime.
It's time to stamp out knife crime.
It's time to stamp out knife of crime.
It's time to stamp out knife crime.
Hi, this is Dan Jackson. It's time to stamp out knife crime.
Yeah, just want to thank all the former players for doing that. Very important message that we wanted to get across. We did that and sent that over to the family. I saw them outside St James's Park on Saturday. before the game and said we'll do something for them. So, yeah, it's an important message. Make sure you give Gordon Galty a big round of applause at Wembley at the weekend, and let's hope that there's justice for the family. I'm going to give time for everybody to compose themselves. We'll just run the ads and we'll be back after this. A big thanks to all our sponsors, starting with Skips and Bins, telephone 0800 25 45 25 3, email inquiries at skipsandbins.com, website skipsandbins.com, easy contract free and pay-as-you-go waste collection. Thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can order them from mrvickies.co.uk, email them at info@mrvickies.co.uk, or call them on 01768 210 102. Why not try some new beers at Blowhole Brewery? You can find them at blowholebrewery.co.uk. Thanks also to United Group Travel, UK Coach Holidays based in Morpeth. Telephone 01670 362 460 or mobile 07957 141 654. Graham, your driver, Beverly answering your calls and looking after you on your tour. Thanks also to 3 Properties. They specialise in sourcing investment properties for their clients who are looking to invest in the North East. They offer a full in-house service from sourcing the deals to managing the properties for you. They've done over 100 plus deals in the last 12 months for clients all over the UK. Give the guys a follow on Instagram, matty.patter_northeast property and phil.reed_northeast property, or email phil@3property.co.uk if you're interested in getting a good property deal. Thanks to qtechshop.co.uk, the makers of pool tables and snooker tables in Wallsend, Newcastle, and the guys who run our website, NUFCmatters.com. Thanks to Media Arts for all the videos. If you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button underneath this video today. Hit the thumb up to like the video and click share to your social media. If you're out and about, you can catch us as a podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and the rest. If you want to join the channel, click join and you'll find out our membership packages down there. Very easy to do. Or if you want to become a cult member, £25 a month, go to NUFCmatters.com and look for membership pack, or put your smartphone over the QR code and it will take you straight there. Anyone who subscribes to the channel will get a free car sticker. To get your car sticker, simply email john@NUFCmatters.com. Got a few events coming up over the next few weeks. Steve Howie, Friday the 24th of February at the Tyneside Irish Centre. Tickets available for £29 on voucher. An evening with Nobby Solano, Saturday the 25th of March. Tickets £15. Book at NUFCmatters.com. Nobby Solano is also at Felling Cricket Club on Good Friday the 7th of April at 4 o'clock. Tickets are £10 and available behind the bar. And an evening with Frank Clark and John Gibson, Thursday the 20th of April. That's at the Tyneside Irish Centre. Tickets are £15. Book now at NUFCmatters.com. We've also got a vast array of t-shirts available at the website. If you want your special Wembley t-shirt, you can go to NUFCmatters.com and get one now while stocks last. One of the girls as well who is involved in the campaign has just sent us this. This is their final flyer for the weekend. Together United, Gordon's massive Geordie Army. Clap for Gordon on the 14th minute. But we will keep playing that this week just to try and raise awareness and to build up some support for the campaign. George, I'll give you this one first. Then Carrius or Gillespie at the weekend. Everyone seems to think it's going to be Carrius. The last game we played, of course, was the Champions League final where he made that error after getting concussed, and that's all that anybody seems to remember about Carrius. He did play in the Saudi Arabian trip, though, and the people who were there and those of us who watched on the live feed were very impressed by Carrius.
Extremely.
Mark Gillespie, of course, hasn't played since the League Cup game against Newport, but he has played 3 times for the first team. Geordie lad, of course. Who's Eddie Howe going to give the job to at the weekend?
He's going to give the job to Carrius. I can't imagine he would do any other thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Gillespie's played 2 or 3 games of the first team, but they're both training together with the first team squad and doing all the things that they should do together. And if he doesn't play Karius, I've got to say, why did we spend money bringing him to the club? Why isn't Gillespie the one that's next in line? No, it's got to be Karius for me, Steve. And he looks the part for me, you know he does. And when I hear him speak, he's an intelligent lad as well. I like some of the things he says as a professional footballer. There's common sense in there, and that's no bad thing to have in a goalkeeper. So Karius for me.
And do you think, Book Ties, I will go with your question as well. Do you think we'll play the high line in the final or sit back a bit, George?
No, I think how we'll play the way he normally plays with a bit more caution. I don't think we'll get caught flat-footed again like we did against Liverpool. That was a one-off for me. And as Alan pointed out, some of that was poor judgment from people who've been great all season, like Trippier and so on. No, I don't think our team would get caught twice like that again. And they'll be looking for example, Rashford to be flying from the start at 100 miles an hour. Well, they'll be finding a way of slowing him down, I suspect. No, I don't think we'll get caught like that again. And I think we will play our usual style, our usual press and all that sort of thing. Because that's the only way we'll beat Manchester United, to be honest.
Yeah. Why has Sky changed our name to Newcastle and then Manchester United? Ken, this is another one of these annoying things that tends to happen. It's Absolutely. Newcastle United and Manchester United. It's just crazy.
Well, there's only one United, isn't there?
Well, there is only one United, but we were first. They were second. But you can't just call them Manchester. You've got to define between Manchester United and Manchester City. But you don't just call one United and the other one not United. It's just crazy. You can't refer to just one United. It's just ludicrous. It drives me up the wall. Vince, keeper, I presume you're going to go Karius as well. In fact, I think most of the lads will. But Karius and what's your views on the formation? Do you think he'll sit back? Or do you think he'll just go for it?
No, like George said, like says to beat Man U, we've got to go for it. Like says high press played in when we played them at Old Trafford, we should have won that game. We were much better than they were. Like says, and we've improved since then. Like says so. I think like says if we sit back, then no, we're just gonna and let them just come onto it. No, Eddie, I won't do that. Like says especially like says get Maxi on the loose, Bruno like says back like slipping it in and all that, and that's going to be it is going to be the difference maker. Bruno is like says link the defense and the attack and all that. Like says he's going to be the maker that. But no, definitely agree with George. We'll definitely go for it that way and like Karius, yeah. Like says again from Talk Sport. Woohoo! Like this, like this going about Karius going, oh yeah, he dropped them balls. Do you think Man U would be peppering the goal with shots and all? I'm going, yeah, but they've got to get past them with defence first, no? Like they'll be hammering them. It's like, oh God, it's just They
conveniently forget that the lad was concussed in that match, and it's just been washed over by them.
Yeah, exactly, George. Exactly, like this. Yeah, I shouldn't listen to TalkSport, really. I get really angry. But Barry, what you said about Blythe Spartans, they mentioned that on TalkSport as well. Because it says Blythe Spartans got 3 games before we've got in our next cup game. We can temporarily loan him out. He just has to sit them out, and then he can come back. No, somebody play in the final. But I was like, what? But, yeah, I know, crazy man. But yeah, no, like says go for it, man. Like says Maxi in form. And like, if we get Miggy, like we're pacing all that, yeah, we've got to go for it. Go with the high press, yeah.
What's your thoughts then, Darren?
Exactly the same as George, and then Karius plays 100%. I'll be more concerned if Gillespie play because I've watched him when he played in the League Cup. He wasn't very clever, in my opinion. But Karius plays. What happened in the Champions League? Forget it's old news that he's moved on from that. He's probably got better than that. And we can't afford to sit back against Man U. If you sit back, it shows them respect, stuff respect. Play Newcastle normal game, attacking. That's my more on the Sunday. Like, attack, sensible defence, and then the player who've been playing all season long, we've got a hell of a chance of beating them.
Yeah, I would agree. Kevin, you're nodding as well. I'd go Karius, and I can't see Newcastle sitting back at all.
I wouldn't say sitting back. I've got my opinions, coaching world, and yes, you could play a high line, but and this is what I literally preach to the kids I coach. It's yes, you have to press high and you have to work hard, but do you press with your head or your heart? And how do you do that? You know what I mean? So I'd rather you press with your head than your heart. But if you're going to go with your heart, you got to better win the ball. You better win it high. You better do all of that sort of stuff. So I'll go with Karius. He's more the accomplished. Yes, play on the front foot, but there's a way to do about playing on the front foot. You can sit in a higher block with a higher line. But in my opinion, yes, if they beat our high press, it's denying space within the midfield to deny the ball into the final third for the lad who's literally one of the best players in England at the minute, Marcus Rashford. Even though, he's done great things within communities and this and that, but I don't like the lad, to be honest. But I don't know, something about him, it is what it is. But I think if we do that, if we can stop them playing forward quickly, like I said, last Wednesday I said Liverpool against Everton played long early, and that was our downfall. And they just turned Everton around, they turned us around, and made us face our own goal. And they pressed high with the three whippers so fun. So I think if Ten Hag plays a different way. He plays through the lines, he plays through the thirds, and he does it methodically, versus Klopp just went back to front quickly. So they've got different outputs, they've got different targets, what they play with. Because Weghorst will be the point of attack, and then you've got Rashford and whoever on the other side, or they'll just float in between. So, again, for me, if high press, but that ball's got to stop coming into our final third as quickly as possible. Yes, the Bruno thing, he'll cover, he'll sit. But I would do, it's not controversial, but I would put Longstaff in deeper and put Bruno a little bit further, because I think Longstaff breaks up the play better than Bruno does. Bruno's the one you can give it to him when we have the ball, and then he can play from there. But if on the other side of it, I think Longstaff with his height, with his athleticism, he might be able to break things up and break things, quicker. And then give it to Bruno, then won the offensive and give it to our attacking players and go forward. So, yeah, I mean, I'll just, again, play on the front foot. We did it this weekend. It was just unfortunate we had one less player than normal, just, again, give it a go. I wrote down earlier, and I didn't mention it, we made the big dance. Again, it depends what colour medal you want to come home with,
Yeah.
It's not about rolling dice. It's not about this and that. It's your desire, and we've got the desire, we've got the work ethic, we've got the mentality. It's just, as an individual, not as a team, as an individual, what do you want to bring home, for the club you personally and for the club that you play for?
Yeah, it's good points, Kevin. Well made. I'm going to break off Barry from you just for a second, because I want to bring Davey Nellis in. I promised I'd get Davey on this week. Davey is a fellow thespian like me. Good evening, Davey.
Good evening, Steve. How are you, mate?
Very good, mate. Love it if we beat them. You're a fellow Newcastle fan as well, so great to see you on. And we've got you on to talk about a play. Love it if we beat them, mate.
Yes, indeed. At live theatre on Newcastle Quayside, opposite the Law Courts. It's all about set in 1996 against the backdrop of the Keegan year. Some people say we blew the title, but yeah, set back against the backdrop of that, and it's a good laugh. So everybody should come along and see it.
Yeah. Now, is it by Rob Ward down at the Live Theatre? Live Theatre, I think it's in its 50 years. Is it 50 years now? God,
yeah.
That makes me feel old, Davey.
You're telling me, mate. Yeah, 50 years of Live Theatre this year. We're very lucky to have it in Newcastle. If people have never been, it's a very welcoming theatre. You've got a bar in the building. You can sit at your table, you can have a drink and watch the play, and it's very accessible.
Fantastic. Tickets around £10 early, for younger people, I guess, and up to £20 for adults. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, and there's concessions and stuff like that. Yeah.
Great stuff. And obviously the live theatre is available online. There's a box office number there on the bottom of the poster as well if anybody wants to go. I'd recommend getting along there. It's a great place to watch theatre. Without giving too much away, Davey, just give us a little insight into your character that you're playing.
So I play Len. There's he's a sort of Labour councillor, left wing, sort of old style Labour councillor, and it was at the time where Tony Blair's New Labour was coming through, and there's a sort of battle for a remaining seat on the council, and then for the general election. So it's sort of him fighting for the, while Newcastle United are fighting for the title. So we've been doing all the research. It's been bringing back some very unhappy memories.
Yeah, I bet that has. And you're busy rehearsing now, David?
Yeah, we're rehearsing. We open on the 2nd of March, 2nd to the 25th of March, Steve.
Brilliant stuff, mate. Great stuff. Well, listen, I know you're busy, and we've tried to get this sorted for the last few days, but we've got there in the end. Love it if we beat them. Davy Nellist is on at the live theatre Thursday the 2nd or Saturday the 25th. The cup final, quick prediction, Davy, before you go.
Strange, I'm going for a 2-0 for Newcastle.
Good lad. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, that's not strange.
I think Karius is going to end up being the hero for some reason.
Yeah, I love it. Davey,
Is he going to score like?
When you're not as busy, Davey.
No, he's obviously had the same. He's obviously had the same dreams as I have, Steve.
I think he has, yeah.
George, not talking about your dreams.
When you're not as busy, Davey, with the play, we'll get you back on to talk Newcastle. Maybe pick your dream team. But for now, Davey, thanks very much for coming on, mate.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it, mate. Cheers,
Take
lads.
care, buddy.
Good night.
Great to have Davey on. And there it is. Love it if we beat them. Thursday the 2nd to the Saturday the 25th of March at the Live Theatre. Cracking place. If you've never been before, get yourself down there. And the black and white play is a great way.
Steve, did you say he's Davy Nellis? Did he say?
Dave Nellist, yeah.
Yeah, he's not from Wallsend by any chance, is he?
I don't know, George, to be honest. Me and Davey have known each other through acting for many years.
Because I went to school with a family of Nellis sort of for years.
Well, he might be. Maybe if he's still listening, he might inbox us and let us know. But Barry, Karius or Gillespie? Is that a goalkeeper top you've got on, by the way?
It is. It's got Pavel on the back. It's
very good.
All right.
Obviously, it came from an era where they didn't have names on, so I got Pavel Serlicek on the back. I think for me, Karius is part of the future. I think I've got faith in him. I think Dubravka will leave at the end of the season. So I think Karius is going to be second choice next year anyway. He's got a hell of a lot to prove. You don't get to be on the verge of the German national squad and not be a Mickey Mouse goalkeeper. Yes, he had some bad luck, but it happens. You watch some of the best keepers in the world and they make blunders from time to time. It's just unfortunate he hasn't played anywhere regular since to show how good he actually is. I think we will go for it. I'm impressed with the fact that it looks as though Target's going to be on the bench, which gives us another option. It looks as though he's hopefully going to be at least fit to play some part in it, which obviously if Byrne, depending on how Byrne's playing, it could link up Matt Target with ESM. I think ESM is now starting to build a rapport with Isaac, which is looking better each time the two guys play together. I think we'll go for it. I think we've got nothing to lose. I think Howe's style of play, I think, like the guys have said, they'll either push Longstaff or Joelin into slightly defensive midfield, push Bruno further forward, and I think they'll just go for them. Rashford, he's a good player, but Botman's world class. We just need Botman to have a good game and mark him out the game, which I think he's more than capable of doing if he's on form. He's had a couple of bad games, so he's due a good one. You've got to go for it. It's every time we've played, obviously a lot of the big games. Steve, I was thinking about the 96 season. Funnily enough, the days before we beat them 5-0, the press was saying we didn't have a cat and else chance of beating them. That it was so much better than us that they were going to turn us over, and it was just a matter of time before the steamrolled past us. And then they got thumped 5-0 at home, and it's one of the greatest matches in our memory. The press before that didn't give us a cat and else chance. They said we weren't going anywhere, and Keegan had lost the plot. it's just one of those things. The press doesn't like us, so go for it, lads. You've got however many thousand Geordies behind you screaming and shouting. We're all up for it. You know, like you say, it would be amazing to get a trophy in my lifetime. Because unfortunately, I wasn't around in '69 to actually see them win something, and I'm sick to death of the Texaco Cup being the only thing on my list.
And the Japan Cup.
I haven't even got that.
Don't forget the Japan Cup. Why does it
Toto Cup?
That was a certificate one. Bit of paper.
Yeah, the Intertoto was a certificate, but the Japan Cup was real. Keegan had it. Davy Nellis says, "We are Wallsend indeed, George." He says, "My cousins John, Dawn, and Pauline went to school in Wallsend, and I went to Benfield."
Yeah, right. Well, I bet I know the ones that went to school in Wallsend. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Almost certainly.
Mystery
it's not through your job, George.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's right, Your Honour.
That's possible as well, I suppose.
So, Alan, before I ask you,
hello, Eddie. Is Carlos is injured? You wanted to play? Yes, I'll play on Sunday. Only way I'm going to get to Wembley, lads. Only way I'm going to get to Wembley. No,
Alan, I presume we've cheered you up a bit then.
Well, we've got to.
That's why I did it reverse. You see, he came back here to try and.
He's a bit more happier now, Alan. I must admit, like straight on his face.
It's great, lads. The cheer us up there. Show some positivity. I need it. But yes, Carrius has got to go and grow, lads. I want to ask George or anybody in the chat, would it be the first time a player of any club has played his first game and won a trophy? That must be.
Oh, that's a shout.
Because when you take the trophy back on Sunday night.
Certainly in my memory, it would be, Alan. I can't think of anybody else that's done that. No.
George, I was just wondering because Jackie Milburn wasn't he going to be dropped for one of the finals, and I was just wondering if the player that was going to take his place had ever played for Newcastle. That's the only reason I brought that up as well. But,
yeah, the 55 final, they didn't want him to play. Who was it? Trying to think who was manager then. They sacked the manager and played Jackie Milburn. It was Doug Livingston. Doug Livingston was the manager. And so he was determined that Jackie wasn't going to play. And Seymour, the director, sacked him and made Norman Smith the trainer, the manager for the final, because he didn't want Jackie to play. And what happened? 45 seconds, he headed the first goal in. And that was the other issue, of course, was that he couldn't head the ball. That was the myth. And so they stationed him on the edge of the box. And Manchester City were watching Keeble, who was one of the best headers in the league, and they didn't even look at Jackie. Well, who did Ernie Taylor chip the ball to Jackie Milburn, and bang, it was in 45 seconds. But that's right, they weren't going to play him in the 55 final. Dougie Livingston lost his job because of that.
Honey Munster won the cup as well, and the Saudi Cup, of course. The Saudi Cup. Well done, Kens. Are we going to play the high press, Alan? Are we going to play the high press?
Yes, but I just totally agree with what Kevin said before. You've got to be responsible, lads. If you watch the Leicester game, Leicester had loads of chances, lads, and this is one thing I want us to do. We must take our chances.
Yeah.
We must go first.
Yeah.
We've got to score first, lads, and we must take our chances because Leicester dominated the first 45 minutes, lads. They didn't take their chances.
Yeah.
Rashford was clear, bang, 1-0. And if it was a boxing match, lads, it would have been stopped at half time because Leicester was so far ahead, but they went in 1-0 down. Chances.
I thought VAR dominated the first half myself, but never mind. But
they played well that game.
Isn't it always? I mean, they're doing their best to get it done away with. They are.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt about it. We covered that last night on the show. I mean, that photograph sums up VAR.
That one, the one with the Manchester United player going for the knee, that made me wince, Steve, because that's exactly how I was put out of football. Exactly like that. And when the bloke finished with my kneecap was you could see my kneecap, it was off, But it's exactly a tackle like that. I think that's
All right.
red. It's a purple card. I mean the red card.
Yeah, there's Ian mentions this one. It was mentioned last night as well. Les Sealey apparently played his first game for Manchester United in the 1992 League Cup final, and they beat Forest. So
he did. That's right.
Yeah, there's a little predecessor for you. And John says Karius played and won the Saudi Cup. He's obviously a trophy magnet. He gets one every game he plays.
Hey, here's one for you.
Go on.
Unless
if Martin Dubravka, if Man United win the title, the Carabao Cup, I'm not saying they're going to, does he get a medal either way?
Yes.
I mean, I thought about that as we
he wouldn't get one.
I thought someone said that Dubravka, if we won, he wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't.
I don't know. I'm just chucking
If we win, he doesn't because he's cup tied.
Right, that's right.
But
so if Man United win,
he'll get a medal. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's why I said yesterday I don't want him to get a medal.
Actually, Steve, can I raise another thing that irritated me yesterday?
Yeah.
Have you watched the Ten Hag interview?
No.
In that interview, twice the reporter asked him about the possible Qatar involvement in Manchester United, and was he concerned about the human rights issues in Qatar? And his answer was, no, that's politics. It's nothing to do with me. And he got away with it. If that had been Eddie Howe, he'd have been getting crucified by the press for not answering. He was hammered for not answering something which was totally political. Even on the telly, Neville and his mates were saying, well, he's got to learn to answer those questions. Why hasn't Ten Hag had to learn to answer those questions?
Yeah.
Eddie Howe got crucified, George.
He did.
Yeah.
All the press afterwards. Why can't he answer?
Yeah,
that's
right.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Okay, well, we're not going to see you guys until next Monday. Alan, first up then, prediction for the cup, mate. What do you say? A win.
I'm not going to make the scoreline. Just we'll win, lads.
All right, that's great. Barry?
Win. 2-1 win.
2-1. All right, Kevin?
Might do a Stu Penman and go 3-1, depending on how we start.
Wow. 3-1. Darren?
Hey, win the final. Why not?
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2-1. I'm going to name the team Karius, Trippier, Shaw, Botman, Dan Burn, Joe Linton, Bruno, Shaw Longstaff, ESM, Amaron, and Wilson.
Isaac.
Your Isaac, sir.
Yeah, I don't think he'll start Isaac. I'll be very surprised. Go on then, Vince.
Yeah, I'm going 2-0. I think Lexus will give it a go. Like the whole team's, you can tell they said how upset they were that they lost. They're going to take this into the game, and I think we'll go for it high. I think 2-0.
And George, I know you'll be on again this week, so you might change your mind. But I'm going to see how you feel as the week goes on. Early prediction from you, George.
2-0. 2-0. Yeah.
All right, great stuff. Been a fantastic show, lads. I will be travelling back next Monday, so I am at the behest of LNER. They don't tend to let me down, so hopefully I will be back in time to do the show. I will set it for 6 o'clock next week. I'm sure
I'll be coming back too on the Monday, so
I'm sure there'll be some sore. I'm sure there'll be some
on the bloody train.
I'm sure there'll be some sore heads either way, but for now, thanks to Aaron, thanks to Barry. Yeah, you don't drink. Thanks
I'll be cleaning the truck, Steve.
Thanks to Darren. Thanks to Vince. Thanks to George. Thanks to Davey for joining on as well.
Good to be with you, lads. Good to be with you, lads. Yeah.
Thanks to Media Arts for doing the anti-knife crime video as well. Take care.
Yeah.
See you 10 o'clock in the morning.
All the best,
Ross Gregory.